Good morning, good afternoon, and good night to every single one of you out there watching this video. Welcome to today's gaming news. We got plenty to talk about. From rough to downright awful, Unity will forever be seen as a greedy company. To backtrack from this new public perception, it will cost the company a ton of work. After their installation feed was made public, the company received an enormous amount of backlash. From developers to gamers, Unity unified the gaming community with one focus: bringing down Unity, or at least making them backtrack on their plans. This uproar brought them to publish a Logan Paul apology. A clear, "We are sorry, we made you feel confusion and angst, but not sorry for our plans." Because at the end of the day, it's all about profit, right, Unity? Included with the apology came a restructuring of their new fee plans. First, they won't be charging per install for those using Unity Personal or Plus plans. It will only apply to Unity Pro and Unity Enterprise. Second, the fee will not apply to games already existing, but those created with or upgraded to the long-term support version releasing in 2024 or later. Third, if any game is already within those previous specifications, the fee would only apply once they cross two thresholds. Number one, getting 1 million in gross revenue and 1 million initial engagements. However, no matter what, even with these changes, which a lot of people don't condone yet or do not agree with, the damage is done. No matter how much Unity backtracks, developers are not gonna trust them anymore. Just as much as any other publisher might reconsider leaving that game engine out of their possible pickups, or giving more support to those that use it. Even though the company backtracked, they are still moving forward with their fee plan, even if it is in another type of style. There's nothing stopping them from changing more in another way later, and even possibly even more dangerous than now, or even changing their minds on this same issue as time passes. But let's move on to something else from Unity's disaster, because Microsoft got itself trapped in a bit of a controversy because internal documents leaked online. A lot of information was inside those files, from upcoming console announcements to new video games, and even confidential emails passed between Xbox executives. Everything is juicy with details, but there were 5 main points that have been brought out throughout the interweb in the last couple of days, and I'm gonna talk about them. First, the files used during the FTC versus Xbox trial were leaked by Microsoft, not the FTC. So, because the documents weren't properly secure, and the U.S. District Court for California's Northern District removed all of them by order from Judge Jacqueline Scott. Now, second, Phil Spencer's reaction to the leak was a bit of a disappointment, but also a motivational speech. He sent a memo to Xbox employees in which he expressed, "I know this is disappointing, even if many of the documents are well over a year old and our plans have evolved." He also added, "We've seen the conversation around old emails and documents. It is hard to see our team's work shared in this way because so much has changed and there's so much to be excited about right now and in the future. We will share the real plans when we are ready." If corrected, some information from the files is most unlikely different from what they could be working at the present time. So let's keep some grain of salt with the next parts from the leaks, because some things could change. Now, number 3, Xbox executives called 2022 a disaster. After having a 2021 full of game releases, they expected to continue with that streak on 2022. However, as history dictated, neither Starfield nor Redfall released on that year, leaving Xbox without any game release that time, other than a few indies and AA games like Pentiment and As Dusk Falls. Though by now that we have Redfall at our disposal, imagine the state the game would have been like if it had been released back then. Ouch. Number 4, Xbox had in the document a list of future, present, and past games that were being considered by the studio to bring them into Game Pass. One of those said games was Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, that's right, the contender for Game of the Year. The company didn't consider it as a good bonus to bring in or as a big, wow factor. But to be fair, even Larian Studios wasn't expecting it to be or to get this boom that is receiving right now. Now, other games that were shown in the list have already been part of the service or are possibly kept on consideration. However, Game Pass is in the last frontier by the company. They are planning and putting more work on cloud gaming, and some of those plans come in the shape of a new console. I present to you Brooklyn, or at least its codename. The console is said to have the same power of an Xbox X Series X, delivering games on 4K with greater internal storage and a new redesigned controller that borrows from Stadia, Steam, and Sony. The controller promises to have precision haptic feedback, new ergonomics, and seamless pair and switch between devices and cloud. So, a lot of green pastures for Xbox. Now, number 5 is about consideration to both Nintendo and PlayStation. When the PS5 was first announced, Phil Spencer wrote an email to employees expressing his thoughts. We have a better product than Sony does, not just hardware, but equally important to software, platform, and services. We have the ingredients of a winning plan. We haven't won anything. This was a good day for Xbox. So considering Xbox has built a full ecosystem with both consoles, cloud streaming service, and subscription service, as well as the future with Brooklyn and the new controller, Xbox just needs a push to bring all of these elements together. And yeah, I do believe they do have a winning formula. They just need a little bit of a push. But now, in the case of Nintendo, within the documents, there was also an email from Phil Spencer speaking about buying Nintendo. Now, before we get all explosive, he didn't mean it as we are actively going after it. No. It was more in the, if the option was ever on the table, we're taking it. From a business perspective, who wouldn't? Unless you were incredibly oblivious and didn't know what Nintendo has on its vault, you wouldn't even care. Now, from the original email, he said, I don't think a hostile action will be a good move, so we are playing the long game. But our BOD has seen the full write-up on Nintendo and Bulb, and they are fully supportive on either if opportunity arises, as am I. So there you go. Xbox isn't planning on just buying outright, but if Nintendo were to propose, they wouldn't say no. Jumping away from those super leaks from Xbox, let's move on to interesting waters. Last week it was announced a new Lord of the Rings game, Tales of the Shire. It will be coming out for both PC and consoles. Now, before you get all worried or start ditching out on the game, it isn't published by Embracer Group or the studio behind Golem. Tales of the Shire is created by a New Zealand-based special effects and prop company, Weta Workshop. They worked on previous Lord of the Rings films, and the game will be published by Take-Two's Private Division label. A teaser trailer for the game will be released in the coming future. But for now, the only available information about the game is a short piece that says, your cozy hobbit life awaits in Tales of the Shire, a heartwarming new The Lord of the Rings game due out in 2024 on console and PC. From the description alone, it could be possible the game is another farming simulator taking place in the Lord of the Rings universe, maybe? Personally, I wouldn't be against it. I love farming simulators, however, most gaming fan base of this universe wouldn't have the same opinion. It could also be a Taken survival mixed with other genres. Any possibility is up in the air until they give us more to go from. So for now, we wait. Next up, I got you an update on the very mysterious and obscure game that was presented during the Game Awards of 2022. Everywhere. First time it was presented, the game set itself as the next great immersive experience to bring players across multiple game styles, while also connecting players on different universes. It set a high expectation. Some compare it to be a GTA killer, a little bit too much, while others saw a crossing of styles with Fortnite. That first trailer showed almost a year ago presented a game with two different points of view. One was the world inside the game. It looked like a mix of open world and a hub where players could interact with one another. And the other one was in a completely different style of animation, colors, and textures. In here, it seemed like it was more of a linear experience. It was something more completely opposite from the previous type of world. This one was more intriguing because it had a storytelling element. However, the new trailer offers a new look at the gameplay and what the game will be all about. This time around, the trailer shows every possibility a player will have to create whatever they wish and want. It's almost like a Roblox. So from racing elements to creating arcade games or even parkour circuits, from the looks of it, you will be able to create whatever you want. Artistically, the game resembles Fortnite a lot. From the way the characters run and look, to even how cars or players get destroyed. Everywhere seems to be resemble the Fortnite looks as their own. Hopefully, as time goes on and before they release, this game takes its own identity. Now with a quick update, co-creator of Dead Space and now creator of the Callisto Protocol announced last week that he will be leaving his new studio. According to a report on Bloomberg, a Krafton representative told the website that Schofield decided to pursue new opportunities. This after the game failed to meet expectations. It was also shared that both the CEO and CFO are leaving the company voluntarily. To take the place of the CEO, Steve Papautis, Chief Development Officer, is stepping in as the new head of office. Now, fans of the Division franchise, you can expect a new game into the saga. Although the franchise is already overcrowded with both main Division games and a mobile version called Resurgence and the newly action survival shooter Heartland, now you can expect a third game in the main trilogy. This was announced by the studio when Julian, the executive producer of the Division brand, said that he was going to start working on the new game once his work with Star Wars Outlaws was finished. It was also disclosed that Julian will focus on building a team for the Division 3 and solidifying the identity of the brand. Meaning, the game is barely starting to be a thing, so we cannot expect a new The Division game for quite some time. At least, it's being worked on. Things from Embracer Group keep going bad. After closing the studios behind Golem and the studio behind Saints Row, now their curse continues to Crystal Dynamics. The studio took to their social platforms to announce layoffs that will impact members of staff. Though not a massive wave of layouts, it is still a tragedy since all of this isn't the studio's fault, but Embracer. After they couldn't secure a deal of $2 billion with a Saudi Arabia company, it seems the only way to lessen the blow, Embracer will continue to impact studios with closures and layoffs. It was also revealed that a small number of layoffs are from departments outside the development team like brand, marketing, and IT departments. So this probably is not going to affect the development of current games. Now finally, remember the last video I told you to keep an eye out for Xbox during the Tokyo Game Show? Well, they brought in a new wave of games announcements, or maybe more like updates as well. Quite a few of them were around Game Pass. First announcement, the Ace Attorney Trilogy, Phoenix Wright, is coming to the service on both console and PC on September 26. Then, in 2024, Game Pass will also get Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy arriving for consoles and PC. Another announcement was for Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, sorry for mispronouncing the name of the game, will arrive on Game Pass on April 23, 2024, bringing in the continuation of the beloved Suikoden series filled with amazing pixel art, 3D visuals telling an epic scale story. Finally, we got not one, but two games from the Like a Dragon series. Coming to Game Pass, we got Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Men Who Erased, and Like a Dragon Ishin. First, Like a Dragon Gaiden will be launching into Game Pass alongside the upcoming Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth on January 26, 2024, while Like a Dragon Ishin will arrive on the service later this year. Along with those big news announcements in a way of saying so much Like a Dragon, in the show they also presented a few indie games coming to the platform, so better pay attention to Mineko's Night Market, which comes out next month on October 26. This is a social simulator with gameplay focused on materials, crafting, and selling, all of that as you scavenge across different areas of the magical world that surrounds you, and you will also have to build relationship with those around you. Another one to pay close attention is Paw World, the monster collecting RPG like Pokemon, but in this one, your creatures hold weapons. You will capture, build your base, craft your weapons, and fight against faction leaders in an amazing 3D world. The game is set to premiere in 2024. But finally, that's all for this episode. What are your thoughts on these gaming news? Let me know in the comment section. I'm the Honey Badger and I love to talk about everything gaming from news to games. If you liked the video, remember to leave a like and share. It really helps. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Keep on gaming.